Good. 大家好，区块链的同志们好，我是欧阳墨 Omer Osden，世木资本的创始人。I'm chairman of Rocktree Capital. I'm very happy to have everybody here today. Join us for this quarter's event to talk about some of the international projects that we have invested into. 世木资本是一个基金，还有我们有一个平台。在英文我们说 merchant bank， 因为我们早一点投项目公司，然后帮助他们快速发展。如果是一个国内的项目，就是中国国内的项目，我们帮助这个项目在国外、海外快速发展。然后，如果是一个国际的项目，我们帮助这个项目在国内、中国国内快速发展。So we invest into companies and projects at the nexus of North America and Greater China market. That's our strength. And for us, we love to invest into teams. That's very, very important. 30% of our investments, 30%的投资公司是传统的公司。在中国，我们的合作伙伴是建个基金，所以我们做天使投资。Last year we had 4 IPOs，包括完美日记，包括一起作业，包括我们是优客工厂的创始投资者。And then we also had a SPAC. SPAC is something that's very, very popular now for IPOs in New York. A lot of Chinese companies are doing them too. So we had 2 SPACs last year and IPOing, but 70% of our investments, 70%的投资都是区块链，大部分是加密货币。That's our focus. And so what we really like to do is to find the top blockchain projects and invest into them early. Elizabeth, you want to interpret a few things that I said?
Sure. So it's my great honor to see you all here, ladies and gentlemen, and my dear colleagues from the Bishijie. My name is Omer, the chairperson of the Rocktree Capital, as the host has already briefed on us. Rocktree Capital is a fund as well as a boutique merchant bank. I'm so happy to talk to you on this live event on promoting the best international projects as well as Chinese projects to all of you. And we are also running a platform to choose the best and undervalued high quality premium projects at early stage. For 13%, we are investing in teams and startup companies. We are kind of like an angel capital in China to give you the best choices. Apart from that, last year we did the 4 IPOs, including the Chinese company of Perfect Diary, a makeup company. And we are also and we also facilitate the IPO for the Let's Do Homework Together. It is also a Chinese company. We also invest in YouWorker. Apart from that, we are also doing SPAC, which was highly popular in New York over the last few years, and most of the Chinese investors are focusing on. And last year, we did 2 SPAC investment. For the 13% of the investment, we prioritize the companies and the teams. For 70%, we watch closely to the development of the blockchain.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Elizabeth. And also later we can translate to Chinese too. I'm going to use mostly English for the audience.
Okay.
So I think some of the important factors for our investment thesis is we really focus on teams, and we learned this from GenFund. GenFund is the top angel investor in China, and we learned a lot from Xu Xiaoping and Wang Chao on how to invest into teams. And so that's probably the most important factor because Rocktree believes, and our philosophy is, you're going to have good times and bad times, and sometimes teams need to pivot. And if the team is great, it'll do great. But if it's a bad team, whether it's good time or bad time, it's going to be all bad times. So that's probably our most important factor for investing.
所以我也想和大家分享一下我们的投资理念。其实这一点也是我们和真格基金在合作过程中所磨合出来的。我也本人呢，向徐小平和王强他们学了很多东西。他们始终觉得投资团队才是不变的真理，因为时代有好有坏。如果我们选择了一个不佳的一个坏的团队的话，那么可能永远都是一些坏事迹。
对，所以我还有呢，我们看这个项目是不是有国际化的想法，不光是国内的项目。如果国内的项目没有国际化的想法，我们不投。然后如果是一个海外的项目，如果他们没有国际化的想法，我们也不投。Because blockchain is a global phenomenon. For a blockchain company, a project to really have big valuation, really have big impact on the entire blockchain market, it has to be global. And the market that a lot of the top overseas blockchain projects miss is China, because China is like a black box to a lot of outsiders. And if the project, the thinking at the very top doesn't have this type of international mindset, we don't participate. And we're bringing 4 projects here. They all have great teams, and they also all have international mindset.
所以呢，我们也非常看重是不是这个项目的团队有国际视野。对大部分人来说，很多，因为我们相信区块链它本身就是一个国际事件和一个国际性的工具。对于海外投资者而言，中国市场可能更多像一个大的黑箱，我们需要把它推荐出去。所以今天我们所遴选的4个项目，可以说都具有这样的类似的国际视野。
The other thing we look at, which is fundamental, is the technology. The team has to be great for developing tech, and the concepts and the technology has to be top class. And we can evaluate that inside China and outside. We work with a number of other funds from the US, from China, from Israel, from Europe, that can help us evaluate the technology. And so some of these projects, actually, we're in collaboration with other funds that we work with globally to be able to 我们一起做的线调查 we do the due diligence on the projects.
第3点呢，我们关注就是这个项目本身的科技含量，因为我们非常关注这个团队是否有能力去开发最杰出和最先进的一些技术和理念。我们做项目评估的时候呢，其实也会从国内和国际2个角度来做评估，包括我们还有和很多其他的一些基金合作，有来自美国的、中国的、欧洲的、以色列的，我们可以做这样的合作调研，来做线下的尽调，看看这个项目是否真正靠谱。
And another factor, and this relates primarily to the business model and also the technology, is we look for projects that are highly scalable. So, we're looking to invest early stage, 天使投资，早一点的投资，然后在未来，这个项目，这个公司在未来是一个unicorn 或者 Deca unicorn 这4个我们投的项目都是我们认为都是未来的市教授。
那么第4点，我们关注的就是这个技术背后的商业模式，看看这个技术是否具有可扩展性。因为现在我们是作为早期的天使投资，那么就要去望向未来，看看这些未来他们是否有可能成为独角兽，或者是我们今天所说的实角兽。
Yeah. So in English, obviously we look for unicorns, but the main thing that Rocktree Capital is doing is looking for decacorns and 市角兽. And so, a lot of what Rocktree does is it helps the companies accelerate their growth. And if we can't help the project accelerate their growth over in international markets or in domestic markets in China, then probably we're not going to invest. And so we are very, very honored to have worked with all of our companies to help them grow, and all 4 of these companies as well to help them grow their project.
其实我们在英文中最初的名字叫做独角兽，但是其实现在我们在国内称呼可以把它叫做十角兽。作为我们公司的话，其实本质上就是起到一个加速的目的，帮助这些有潜力的公司未来不管是在国际市场上还是在中国市场上都进行加速的发展。所以这也是我们会投资的一个方向。所以今天我们非常荣幸和高兴的请到了几家公司的代表和我们来分享他们的企业。
And the other thing we look for, one of the last things we look for is, to us, blockchain is a revolution. 就是一个老百姓的革命。For us, we need to see that type of revolutionary thinking in the leaders of the company. So if you look this year, in the past 12 months, blockchain performed one of its most important goals, which is the democratization of finance. It executed it perfectly. And how do we know that? Well, last year, the US government printed a lot of money. In fact, governments all over the world printed a lot of fiat money. And for anybody who understands economics, this printing money is a tax on poor people. It's a tax on medium class people. It's even a tax on the richest people in the world, because if you're outside the 1%, you're going to be lose your net worth when more money is printed. This is a fundamental aspect of economics. So during this time, during the past year, because of printing money, we've seen 62 of the wealthiest American billionaires increase their net worth by $1 trillion. But during the same 12 months, we also saw 50 million crypto investors also increase their net worth by $1 trillion. And this has never, ever happened in the history of the world. And it happened because of the technology that Satoshi Nakamoto brought to the globe.
所以其实我们也需要这种革命性的思维的转换。可以说在去年呢，也就是在过去的12个月中，我们看到了区块链它实现了这样的目的，它已经成为了一种去市场化的金融工具。因为我们回到最初的像国际的经济发展的这一层来看，像去年美国政府它其实大量的印刷并且发行了法币。如果稍微有一些经济逻辑能知道，当法币大量的发行，就会意味着这是对贫困阶层、对中产阶层以及对部分最富有的人的一种无形中的征税。所以我们看到了，其实去年呢，应该大概有62%的富裕的美国人，他们的净资产已经增加了万亿以上。同理，去年我们也增发了超过5000万美元的加密货币，所以也会让我们加密货币行业的有钱人，他们的身价和市值也增加了1万亿以上。
Yeah, so I want to say to everybody, B2B 万岁. It's really helping the world. The technology is helping the world, and we want projects that are here to help the world. So我非常荣幸介绍这4个项目。To start off with, we have Iris from The Graph. The Graph we know from New York. It's one of the most scalable projects of last year that released a token last year. We really enjoy working with Yaniv and Tegan and Iris, who is the country manager. We're very happy to have her here today. Also, from a project, another project that we did the founding investment into, Casper Labs. Casper Labs, we invested into at the earliest stage, and we have here with us the CEO of Casper Labs, Mrinal, and also the newly appointed country manager, Kathy Elizabeth.
所以我今天非常高兴和大家说比特币万岁，以及我们今天的发展验证当时比特币创始人所预计的发展未来。所以今天我非常高兴和大家介绍4个项目，其中第一个项目呢就是 The Graph， 它可以说在去年以来，我觉得他们是在纽约发展最大的，并且是扩展性最强的一个项目。他们呢也是从去年开始发行代币，待会儿由 Iris 他会跟大家介绍。那么第二个呢就是 Casper Labs。今天我们邀请到了 Casper Labs 的 CEO Manor 和我们来做介绍。他们呢也是我们早期开始就有投资的，以及 Casper Labs 今天也邀请到了中国区的负责人 Cassie， 他也会跟我们来说。
And we also have the China manager of DYDX. I'm very happy to see her here today. Iran, who just joined the project over the past few months. She's been excellent. And also joining us, the CEO of Pocket Network, Michael, who is also here today from the US. We're very pleased to have these 4 projects, these 就是未来的视角兽 future decacorns in our for our event today. And I want to make one more point, is that we have 3 country managers who are all women. And I think that's really important. And Casper Labs CTO is also female too. And she's one of the top CTOs in blockchain, if not the top. She's in California. It's too early for her to join us today, but I'm really excited that blockchain can have this influence from women leaders as well.
第3家企业呢，就是 DYDX， 今天也是由中国区的负责人来加入我们，和我们来分享他们的项目。他呢也是几个月前加入 DYDX 的，也是位非常杰出的领导者。那么第4个项目呢，就是 Pocket Network。今天我们也非常有幸邀请到他的 CEO Michael 加入我们，他也是来自美国的一个项目。那么其实我还想跟大家说啊，这4家企业就是我们今天遴选的面向未来的实角兽，而且有一点非常值得大家关注，就是这4家企业中，其中3个项目的国家负责人和国别负责人都是女性。我们还其实有一位人没有参加，就是 Casper Labs 的 CTO， 她也是一位女性，可以说是我认识的最杰出的在区块链领域的技术人才。他本人因为在加州，由于时差的原因太早了就没有加入我们，所以我觉得这一点非常非常的值得庆幸。区块链也真正帮助更多女性走上领导者的地位。
Thank you. So I'm going to pass it over to Ding Ding, and let's start hearing from the projects themselves. 谢谢大家。
好的谢谢刚刚欧亚木博士给我们介绍了他的一个对一个独角兽项目的一个评估要素，以及他是怎么样去选择和投资优质项目的一个考虑的标准。那么其中呢，他刚刚有谈到说国际视野以及科技含量都是他考虑的衡量的一个重要的一个要素。好，那么接下来呢，我们将会去给大家介绍到 DeGraph 亚洲区战略负责人 Irish 以及 Pocket Network CEO Michael and DYDX 中国区负责人依然以及 Casper Labs CEO Merno还有中国区的负责人 Kathy， 他们来给我们来探讨一下他们之间的项目，然后以及他们想要聊一些比较有意思的话题。OK。That's all. Omer, you could open your question.
So I'm going to ask.
You ask or I ask?
No, I can present. I think you go ahead and they can present their project.
Okay. And the first question is that.
Why don't we just start with the graph? Iris, do you want to talk about the graph?
Yeah, sure. Hi, Omer.
Hi, Iris.
Really great opening speech. I really enjoyed it. Thanks for sharing all the info with us. And I just realized that you can speak such fluent Chinese.
Howdy.
And hi, everyone. Business and strategy in Asia. So should I just present in Chinese or?
Yeah, go ahead.
OK， So 大家好，我是 Edge and Node 亚洲的商务和战略负责人 Iris 然后谢谢今天Omer、Rocktree 还有币世界的邀请。然后The Graph 是 Web3 的这个去中心化网络的索引和查询层。然后呢，我们给 DeFi 和很多别的去中心化应用程序提供核心的数据基础设施，就是开发人员或者说任何人都可以在我们的网络上构建和发布称为 Subgraph 子图的开放数据 API， 然后应用程序可以使用 GraphQL， 这是一个很常用的开源的一个查询语言来查询这些 API 来调取区块链的数据。目前呢，我们已经支持的还有并且正在集成中的底层网络有以太、波卡、BSC、Celo、Near、Solana， 还有刚刚宣布的这个雪崩，将来还会有更区块链受到的 Graph 的支持，然后目前为止呢，已经Decentraland 等等很多项目都是使用我们的这个 Subgraph 的。所以的 Graph 主要是解决了链上世界的几个难题。首先是就是去中心化应用需要从底层数据源获取和转换数据的解决方案，因为区块链数据是很难以应用直接调取使用的格式储存的。第二点是应用程序难以直接从节点获取数据，以支持网页和移动端的应用。第三点就是说，整个 Web3 堆栈的话，缺失的是一个索引和查询层。然后第四点就是说，通过的 Graph 数据查询在去中心化网络上是来被处理的，这样呢可以保证数据的开放和去中心化应用的可持续运行。然后使用的 Graph 的去中心化程序将是无中心化服务的，这意味着他们不会依赖单一的去中心化就是单一的一些中心化的服务器，而降低停止运行的可能性，不会说担心某一个团队来操作这个服务器，中间会产生很多的信任成本。然后开发者可以将协议部署到不用自己多花更多的资源和精力来管理和开发的可信赖的公共基础设施上面。我们希望可以通过创建和改善开发者索引和查询区块链数据体验的工具，使完全去中心化的应用程序成为可能，然后建立一个不被垄断者控制的、由各种实际参与者和利益相关者维护的这样的一个全球的开放性的数据 API 网络。好了，主持人，这个我介绍完了。
好的那么接下来我们邀请 Pocket Network CEO Michael 给我们来介绍一下他们的项目。Michael?
Hi.
Hi.
Thanks. Hi, everyone. Thanks for hosting this, Omer and Kevin. And it's really incredible to see all these participants from these amazing projects and to echo Omer's on these women and these incredible women leading these projects. So thanks again. And hi, everyone. My name is Michael O'Rourke. I'm one of the co-founders and CEO of Pocket Network. We started thinking about Pocket in late 2016. My background is in iOS engineering, and we were writing some smart contracts on Ethereum. And as 2017 came along, we saw all these amazing applications being built. And these applications were handling thousands or tens of thousands of users at once. And all of these users, myself included, were refreshing these pages and generating millions of requests for blockchain information, like our balances or smart contract information. And to be able to handle all of this traffic, decentralized applications resorted to using these third-party services to handle all of this work at scale. And it's really expensive to run blockchain infrastructure. And as a result, we've seen a concentration with just a few providers really handling all of the blockchain data that we see on our dApps today. So we saw these unstoppable blockchains that are truly decentralized, having these points of control and centralization on top of them. So we designed Pocket Network to be a better option to build on. All of this data requires one thing in the end, and that's full nodes. And all of the smart contract data for these applications that we use every day really depend on full nodes. So whether that's Bitcoin nodes, Ethereum nodes, Solana nodes, all of these applications depend on these full nodes. So we designed Pocket Network to be a decentralized and ultimately much more reliable, efficient, and private solution for developers and their end users. Pocket Network is a protocol that incentivizes full nodes to provide infrastructure for Web3 applications. Pocket is its own blockchain. It's built in the Cosmos and Tendermint stack. And you can think of it like a Uniswap for blockchain infrastructure. Instead of having to depend on unreliable centralized companies to provide this really critical, important data, they can now use Pocket Network to provide much stronger guarantees on reliability and cost. So we launched Pocket Network last year in late July with support for Ethereum and Pocket. We launched with about 100,000 requests a day and about 40 nodes supporting the network.
Michael?
Since then, yes.
We'll pause there just for translation.
Sure.
Thanks.
首先，非常感谢 Omar 和 B 世界的相邀。我今天非常高兴啊，能够参与我们今天的讨论，而且看到了这么多好的项目，以及我非常想回应刚刚 Omar 所说的。确实，现在我们这个行业有非常多的杰出女性的代表。那我介绍一下自己吧，我叫 Michael， 是来自我们刚刚所介绍 Pocket Network 的联合创始人和 CEO。其实我自己本身的本职工作啊，之前的专业是个 iOS 的工程师，这是我的一个技术背景。在16年底的时候呢，我们就慢慢的在 Pocket Network 上开始了一些应用和工作。在17年的时候，其实当时我们看到了有很多的这些非常了不起的应用，都在不断的构建并推出，可以同时处理成千上万名用户。其实当时我自己也是其中的一个用户。他们可以不断的刷新页面，生成数百万条有关于余额和智能合约的一些信息区块链的请求。所以为了处理这么多流量和请求的话，一个去中心化的应用程序就必须要依靠第三方的服务来处理。当时我们仅只看到少数的一些供应商集中处理了我们在 DApp 上看到的所有这些区块链。所以今天我们还看到了很多这些区块链上它浮有很多这样的控制点和一些集中点，所以我们当时就设计了 Pocket Network 作为一个更好的选择。当然我们在处理所有这些数据的时候都需要满足一个要求，那就是需要设置完整的节点，因为今天我们所有使用的这些应用程序和智能合约的数据啊，都处于这些完整的节点上面。在设计 Pocket Network 的时候，它本身也是一个去中心化的，而且我们的目标就是将它设计成为更加可靠、更加高效，而且是一个私有的解决方案。Pocket Network 它本质是一种协议，它旨在于激励整个节点为 Web3 应用程序提供一个基础的架构。Pocket 其实它本身也是一套独立的区块链系统了，我们也可以把它看作是用于区块链基础架构的一个 Uniswap。它不需要依赖，也不需要依靠集中的一些公司来提供关键的数据，而是我们可以使用 Pocket Network 来提供可靠的一些数据。当时在2020年7月底的时候，我们就启动了 Pocket Network。您继续。
Michael.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Great. So yeah, we launched Pocket last year, like I said, with support for Ethereum and Pocket. We launched with about 100,000 requests a day and 40 nodes in the network. Since then, the network has served over 1 billion requests for production applications like MyCrypto and Zapper. We have over 3,500 nodes located all around the world, mining Pocket and providing infrastructure for these production applications on Ethereum. Today, we support 12 blockchains, and we expect to be supporting 20, 30, and 50 over the coming months. We have two major products.
Michael, let
Sure.
Elizabeth.
Sure.
所以我们在去年7月底的时候就启动了 Pocket Network， 而且支持以太网和 Pocket。每天大概是我们启动了10万个请求，并且提供了40个节点。从去年开始啊，网络每天上以太坊上的 MyCrypto 和 Zebra 产生的生产应用应该超过了11个请求。现在的话呢，我们在全球拥有3500个节点，并且在这些节点上面挖掘 Pocket， 也为这些应用程序提供基础的结构。截至到目前的话，我们一共支持了12个区块链，并且期待在未来的话支持更多。You go, please.
We have two major products that we're working on today. The first being our Pocket Dashboard. The dashboard allows developers to begin building on any blockchain supported by Pocket with just 3 clicks and 1 line of code. We had a soft launch for this last week, and we expect to make it public for developers next month.
现在我们主要有2套产品呢，还在研发过程中啊。第一个就是我们的 Pocket Dashboard 仪表盘，那么它就是帮助了开发人员只需要稍稍的点击3下鼠标，并且敲一行代码的话，就可以开始在 Pocket Network 我们的整个架构上进行任何区块链的一个构建。上周的话，我们就对产品进行了软启动，并且期待在下个月的时候呢，发布给开发人员。You go, please.
Yeah, and the other major product that we're really excited about is Wrapped Pocket. This is a product that's going to allow anyone to crowdsource infrastructure and stake for applications that are already using Pocket Network. You can think of it as like a free tier for applications. So DeFi users can stake Wrapped Pocket, earn some yield, and applications receive free infrastructure for participating. We expect to launch this in Q2 this year as well.
另外就是我们第2个产品呢，我也很高兴和大家分享，就是我们的一个 Pocket， 它是一个包装完好的 Pocket。Pocket 本身就是允许任何使用者，他只要使用 Pocket Network 进行众包并且抵押应用程序，可以把它看作是一个这样无限的免费层的 DeFi。用户呢可以去投注使用 W Pocket 获得一定的收益，而且应用程序可以免费获得使用我们的应用程序呢，可以获得免费的参与基础设施的建构。我们是计划在第2季度的时候呢启动并推出。
Yeah, and as we see crypto really become mainstream across the world, the need for data across all these thousands of blockchains that are being released today is only going to exponentially increase. We are beyond excited to be at the ground floor of this, and we see Pocket becoming one of the default infrastructure providers for the entire world for all of these blockchains. If you'd like to learn more, please check out our website at pokt.network. And we also have a growing WeChat community that I'd love to share with you all and join. So thank you for having me.
因此我们也看到了啊，现在加密货币已经成为了世界范围的一个主流。现在发布的数千个区块链中对数据的需求啊，只会在未来呈现指数级的增长。我们也很高兴作为一个底层供应商来参与到这个过程中。如果大家对我们的企业有更多的了解，有更多的一个需求的话，可以访问我们的网站 pocket.network。而且现在我们也推出了自己的一个微信社区，大家也可以加入。非常感谢相邀和邀请我发言，谢谢。
So before we move to the next projects, I just want to say thank you, Michael. Thank you, Iris. I just want to say today we not only have a big audience in China, but we also have a lot of international guests who are in the audience here today. And I just want to say hi to Tim Lewis, who heads up the DAO at Casper Labs, who is in Berlin. We're very happy to have a global audience for this event. And before we move on, I just want to ask Iris and Michael, we'll start with Iris. One of the key factors for Rocktree's investment is scalability of transactions, scalability of queries, scalability of data. So there's certain choke points in that. Iris, can you tell us what the numbers were, let's say a year ago, let's say 3 months ago, 4 months ago, and what the numbers are now for queries and so forth. And Michael, touch upon the scalability of Pocket as well, and in terms of where you see the choke points and how we can unlock those. Iris?
Yes, I think right before we launched the mainnet in last December, so we just hit like, I think, 9 billion queries per month. And the number actually exceeded 14 billion in February. And for March, it actually got over 19 billion. So which is amazing because it's already up over 100 times since January last year. So I think our accomplishments also indicate a continuous rise in adoption of Ethereum dApps.
所以首先我们想问一下 Iris 关于，因为我们非常关注您整个数据的一个扩展性，所以想问一下您啊，从去年或者说3个月前到现在，我们所有这个 choke points 的一个发展和一个扩展。那么回答就是 Iris 去年12月份以来，我们自从在主网上线之后，就发生了快速的变化。从一开始差不多就是90亿，到今年2月份的话是140亿，到今年到3月4号的时候呢，就是190亿，可以说是增长了几百倍。
Michael.
Yeah, it's scalability is an interesting problem in blockchain infrastructure projects. For us, it's been really important to get this supply side of the network because you have individuals running full nodes, and to be able to support the scale that we want for all of crypto, we need to make sure that we have enough full nodes located around the world. In Pocket's case, because we have so many nodes, if one goes down, there is 3,500 ready there to replace them. And for us, I'm pretty sure we are the Tendermint protocol with the most active validator nodes on chain. And that's been just really incredible to see these kind of incentives align on that side of things. And effectively, each one of these nodes can handle tens of millions or 20 million or hundreds of millions of requests by themselves. And because we've designed Pocket in such a way for it to be web scale from day one, they're ready and available there to participate. We're effectively really pushing the limits on kind of consensus scalability through Pocket and the network that we've designed.
非常感谢，其实我们也是非常关注扩展性的，而且非常在乎整个供应侧的整个扩展性。因为我们知道，现在哪怕是有些个人或者是一些单个的企业，它也可以做出一套完整的节点。其实，在我们这块非常的不担心，就是假如有一个节点出现了故障宕机的话，还有350个节点可以帮助处理所有的这些请求和数据。所以的话，我们而且优势在于可以提供所有的验证型的节点。我们每一个节点大概可以处理的数据，可能从几千万到几亿不等的请求。那么我们也是致力于去打造一套基于网络可扩展的节点，所以我们截至到目前呢，还不断在去扩展我们在 network 的一个边界和处理的需求。
谢谢 Iris， 谢谢 Michael， 私募资本爱会快速发展的项目。I wanna say that actually Tim Lewis, who heads up the DAO at Casper Labs, he just put something into the chat. There is a website URL, devxdao, devxdao.com, for all projects, open source. There's open source grants available for those developing on the ecosystem. Elizabeth?
刚刚其实我们在微博林的 DAO 的负责人 Tim Lewis， 他在我们的整个聊天留言处啊，他给大家一个网络链接。这个网络链接是针对所有这些开源项目的一个资金的，大家待会儿也可以去点击一下看一下，因为这个资金的本质啊，就是去支持所有这些项目的开发。
And let's move next to Iran, who is the new headment lead for DYDX in China. Iran, it looks like, are you in San Francisco or are you in Hangzhou today?
No, it's just a virtual background of Zoom.
Okay. Hi, Iran. Please go ahead.
Cool. Should I present in English or Chinese?
I think Chinese. Let's cut to the chase. And if you want to say some words in English, go ahead too, because we have English speaking audience as well. But speak in Chinese.
Cool.
我们说中文。
大家好，欢迎很开心今天来到这个 B 世界的活动。我们其实熟悉 DeFi 的人应该都知道我们从2017年开始就是在做去中心化交易所，到现在已经有3年了。我们过去的话有现货、杠杆和合约交易。那么在去年的时候，我们决定就是把自己的重心就放在合约交易上，因为我们看到衍生品的市场它非常大，而且现在并没有一个成熟的DEX 在做合约交易。所以过去6个月呢，我们一直在专注于用 Layer 2的这个解决方案来做一个新一代的DEX。我想 Layer 2现在也是非常火的一个 topic， 就是因为而我们的这个Magic 就是我们 DYDX 的 Magic 也是 Layer 2。那么 Layer 2我可以简单介绍一下它的好处。那么之前的话，为什么 DYDX 用起来非常痛苦呢？主要就是因为它的 fee 实在是太高了，因为每一笔交易它要去上链。你可以想象，在过去比如说 DeFi Summer 的时候，那以太的价格很高，gas fee 也很高，每一笔交易可能要几百刀。那么有了 Layer 2之后呢，我们的 order 是在线下去帮你做撮合的，同时呢，你这样的话，同时当有一定量的交易在我们的后端完成之后，我们可以把你去打包一起去上链。这样的话，你既保证了你的资金安全是以太坊保证的，但同时呢，你的交易费其实跟中心化交易所的交易其实是基本上是持平的。那么同时因为 Layer 2我们有更快的这样一个 Oracle 的一个更新，因为你不需要再等价格它通过以太坊的区块被挖出来之后才能确认，你的价格可以很快的就通过 Layer 2这样子的一个架构去确认，那就意味着就是说我们的价格更实时，这样在产品上反映出来就是说我们可以支持更多的交易对。比如说，在过去的3年中，我们只有比特币、以太坊和Link。那么现在呢，在这一周就是昨天，我们是支持了 Solana 和 Sushi。在上周的时候，我们支持的是 Uni 和 Aave， 而且我们打算就是在今年我们是每周可能会支持一个新的交易对，所以这样的话也会让我们有很多的一些合作伙伴，然后我们有一系列的一些市场营销的活动。然后同时的话，我们过去的话只有支持5倍和10倍的杠杆，因为我们有了现 Layer 2，我们现在以后也会支持，比如说以太和比特币是25倍的杠杆，包括它是 cross margin 的，你是可以用一个保证金，然后交易所有的不同的交易对，这样子可以大大的提升你的资金的利用效率。那么除此之外呢，我们也花了非常多的精力去改善我们的产品体验，因为我们知道DEX 嘛，它其实用起来还不是那么顺滑。那么针对于中国市场的话，我们在过去的3个月中，我们也做了非常多的一些本土化的工作，包括翻译，然后提供中文的教程，跟中国的一些合作伙伴进行合作，像中国的钱包、中国的媒体，然后中国的做市商，然后我们也会经常参加各种针对中国观众的一些活动，那么现在的话，我也非常特别开心的宣布，就是说我们 Layer 2的 product 是于上周是正式上线了。那么到目前为止的话，我觉得反响是非常好的。我们大概已经有4亿美元的一个交易量了。然后我们的活跃注册用户已经到了13000多个人，我刚刚才看了一下。然后我们的活跃用户的话，大概有4000多个人。对。
谢谢 Iran. Thank you very much. We're really excited about DYDX. I think, BitMEX and so many others have proven out the critical importance of perpetual swaps in crypto for having liquid and buoyant markets. And really the next phase is we're moving from centralized exchanges to DEXs, and we're really excited with what DYDX is doing. Thanks, Iran, for that.
Yeah, of course.
Elizabeth?
非常感谢我们 Iran 给我们介绍 DYDX 所有的一些新的项目，而且我也相信之前 BigMax 说过，这就是未来的一个最重要的发展之一，形成这种永久的交换机制。而且我们在第一个阶段的时候，也期待看到了我们从传统的这样的机制进入到 DEX 的一个状态。
Well, I wanna say Elizabeth's translation is so good. These are some complicated terms, and you translate really fast. So very good. 谢谢 Elizabeth. And now I want to turn to Casper Labs. Very excited to have here the CEO of Casper Labs, Mernal, and also the new head of China, Kathy. We've become friends working on things. But I want to say, like, Casper Labs is not just an investee company. Mernal has become a brother, and we've gone through hard times together, good times. 我们投的就是我们是Casper 的创始投资者，然后合作伙伴，然后我们投的时候是最冷的冬天，最凶的熊市 the coldest winter stage of crypto is when we invested, when Bitcoin was like 3,500 and the worst bear market, and we're really happy to have gone through those good times and bad times together with Mernal. Mernal and Kathy? Wait, hold on. Let Elizabeth translate that.
所以接下来我想邀请的就是 Casper Labs 的 CEO Mernal 和我们中国区的负责人 Cathy。我想说的呀 ，Casper Labs 不仅仅是我们石墨资本投资的一个简单项目而已。我和 Mernal 本身可以说更多的是一份兄弟情吧。因为当时在投公司的时候，可以说是处于投资最冷的冬天和最差的熊市，但是我们也经过了这么多，所以待会儿马上就想邀请 Mernal 和 Cathy 上来和我们介绍他们的项目。
Mernal.
Hey guys, happy to be here. Sorry, Kathy's having some technical issues, but she will be here soon. Just to kick it off, the first quarter in 2021 has been one of historic growth for Casper Labs. We've had consistent momentum with our partners, our global footprint continues to grow, and most significant of all, the Casper Network launched its mainnet on March 31st.
非常高兴看到各位就是我的合作伴侣 Cathy 她那边有一些技术的故障，待会儿她调好之后跟我们一块儿来上线。那今天我首先来简单介绍一下，在2020年第一季度，其实可以说 Casper Labs 取得了历史性的增长阶段。我们和合作伙伴的发展势头保持一致，在全球不断的拓展，同时更重要的是 Casper Labs 在主网上已经开始启动。
To ensure that Casper Labs can help support sustainable infrastructure as more organizations start building on the Casper network, Casper Labs has struck a series of strategic partnerships in recent months, and I'll cover several of them. In January, Casper Labs announced a partnership with the DAO builder Metis to accelerate development of decentralized applications, economies, and community-based projects. And this was followed by several other key scaling partnerships, including one with China's BSN service to accelerate the adoption of Casper Network amongst the developers across the world.
现在随着越来越多的一些组织已经开始在 Casper Labs 上进行建构的话，为了确保 Casper Labs 能够支持可持续的一个基础架构，所以在最近几个月中，我们也建立了一系列的战略合作伙伴关系。和大家举几个例子今年1月份的时候，我们就宣布通过与 DAO 独立自治组织构建商 Metis 建立合作伙伴关系，来加速去中心化的一个应用程序、经济拓展和社区项目的开发。接下来的话，我们还和其他的几个关键的合作伙伴也建立了新的合作网络关系，包括与 BSN 中国基于区块链的服务网络也建立了合作伙伴关系，来加速 Casper Labs 在全球开发人员之中的应用。
Casper Labs also teamed up with Covalent to make on-chain data within the Casper network more accessible to businesses and consumers globally. And we joined BitGo in a commitment to provide secure asset custody to enterprises, developers, and users. In efforts to continue this expansion, as Timothy and Omer mentioned, Casper Labs supported the launch of DevX DAO, an independent DAO that supports the brightest minds and companies in Web 3.0 and crypto.
Casper Labs 还与 Covalent 开展合作，来促使全球的企业和消费者都可以轻松的访问我们 Casper Labs 的所谓的链上数据。同时，我们还加入了 BitGo， 为企业、开发人员和用户提供安全的资产托管。刚刚其实 Timothy 和 Omer 也说到过了，我们还和 DAO 他们合作，我们可以说是为 Dev 和 DAO 发布提供了支持DAO 是一个独立的，能够为加密领域最杰出的一些人才和公司提供支持的一个工具。
And I see Kathy's joined us, so over to you, Kathy. We'll split up these updates going forward.
那么 Cathy 已经加入我们了，待会儿看看要不要她来继续说一下。
好的，非常感谢。 Thank you, thank you. Yeah, so 刚刚我们的 CEO Marino 给大家更新了一些我们的一些合作伙伴，比如说我们与Covalent 的一些合作，包括Matis。那我们现在也还和其他的一些合作伙伴有合作，比如说像 BitGo，我们在为大家提供比较安全的、有保护的一个资产的管理，给这些企业用户、开发者以及终端用户。我们是会全力支持我们的 DevDAO，DevDAO 本身也是一个独立的一个机构。它会支持所有的这些最聪明的一些开发者公司在 Web 3.0和区块链 Crypto 方面的一个开发。那我们 Casper Labs，yes，
Go ahead, Kathy. Go ahead, Kathy. Sorry.
OK， 我们 Casper Labs 呢也非常支持所有创新性的区块链的应用场景。我不知道刚刚Marino 有没有提到我们有研究表明我们在企业这个解决方案方面为属于那个知识产权这个公司叫 IPV 他们提供了一定的技术支持，他们也是一个就是在技术产权上进行注册管理的一家公司。那在2月份呢，我们也宣布了与 Hierosoft 建立一个在资产溯源以及资产的所有权方面的一个合作关系。他们有一个以黄金为背书的资产代币叫做 Anthem Gold， 我们也是与他们进行一个合作。那么在支付方面和其他的资产管理方面呢， Casper Labs 也和Plasma Pay 还有 Plasma Finance 进行一个合作，为终端用户提供在 Casper 基础上的一个钱包的服务。Okay, I just update to February. So, 然后我们在今年3月份，我们刚刚宣布了我们与 ACDX 的一个合作。这个合作呢，让我们使更多的机构投资者能够对机构投资的这些费用 gas 费用包括他们在一些金融衍生品上的这个交易的这个费用有一定的能够保护他们自己的gas 费用，那可以提供一个可以预测市场价格的这种 gas 费用的模型。那我们也和BIG Token 建立了一个合作伙伴关系目的是能够使这些在 Casper 网络基础上能够建立起来一个这个基础设施也是让更多的用户能够使他们的信息能够在 Casper 网络上进行一个有收益，就是 monetize 他们的一个 data。 OK，
Great.
Awesome. Thanks for those updates. One last one from me before we close out, and then Kathy has something exciting on the NFT front. So as global interest surged, Casper Labs opened new offices in China and the United Arab Emirates to support the increasing demand. Of course, I'm honored to be joined by Kathy Zhu, who was our managing director for China. And we also hired Saeed Hareb Al-Darmaki as managing director of the Middle East and North Africa. We've been humbled by the significant growth in the Chinese and MENA communities, and our new leadership members are eager to tap into the growing demand for Web3 solutions in these regions with our developer-friendly resources and tools.
非常感谢刚刚凯西的补充，他在最后呢还会有一些收尾之处。那么接下来我再和大家分享特别激动人心的一点，也就是说，随着现在全球关注在不断的增加。Casper Labs 在中国和阿联酋也开设了新的办公室，来为大家提供更好的支持和服务。我们中国区的负责人就是刚刚跟大家见面的 Cathy， 那在北非区的负责人呢就是萨义德。所以我们其实是非常看重中国和中东北非区这2个社区的增长的。 我们现在新遴选的领导层的成员也非常非常渴望利用我们对开发人员友好的资源和工具来满足 Web3 解决方案和这些地区不断增长的需求。
Over to you, Kathy, to close out.
好的，非常感谢 ，Thank you, Mino。那最后刚刚我们的 CEO Mino 提到了我们在 NFT 上面的一个新的消息，我们针对，因为现在目前市场上 NFT 是一个非常火热的一个概念，那 Casper Labs 最新推出了一系列针对于 NFT，NFT 它的英文是 Non-Fungible Token， 是一种不可替代的一种令牌。我们有一个很大的市场战略计划，我们最新宣布了我们与 TerraVotra 的一个携手合作。TerraVotra 它是通过将其数字市场的这个艺术品进行一个 NFT 的这个数字化，然后对用户进行促进他们对消费者对 NFT 的一个接受和购买。那用户可以通过Casper 的网络进行购买这些 NFT 的实物资产，或者验证这些资产的身份。那 Casper Labs 也与比较领先的一个网络安全公司叫做 WiseKey 建立了一个安全的、可以扩展且环保的一个解决方案，用于买卖 NFT。那 WiseKey 它本身是一家使用区块链技术还有人工智能等就是数字身份部署生态的一个公司。
And from me, just to close out, thank you everyone for making the first few months of 2021 so memorable. At Casper Labs, we look forward to what's to come in Q2 and beyond, while continuing to provide services and support for the growing global ecosystem that is gravitating towards the Casper network. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.
那最后我来收尾吧，因为
Go ahead.
像2021年前几个月可以说是非常非常令我难忘的，我也非常感谢大家共同的努力和进步。在 Casper Labs 的话，我也非常期待我们第二个季度能够取得的成就和后续继续能够为各位提供的服务和增长，因为我们整个就是为了吸引更多的不断进步的，我们 Casper Labs 就是为了不断推进全球生态系统的服务，为他们提供更好的服务和支持。感谢各位。
Great. Thank you. Thank you, Mernal. And thank you, Kathy. Kathy, it's great to work with you over the past couple of months on such an intense track. It's really my pleasure. And Mernal, like we said, Rocktree always looks at teams, and Mernal embodies something very rare, which is tech and also capital markets with his experience on Wall Street. So we're very pleased to have you here today. Elizabeth?
非常感谢我们在过去几个月其实和 Cassie 也有接触，而且也各种追踪了 Casper Labs 的发展。我们刚刚其实在开篇的时候就说了，石墨资本关注整个团队的发展和团队的实力。我们知道 Mernal 就是这样一个杰出人才，他不仅本身有着非常雄厚的技术实力，而且他因为有着华尔街的工作经验，可以说将技术和资本市场的经验同时结合起来了。
Okay. So I want to ask DYDX and Casper a question, starting with Iran, and then we'll move to Casper. So tell us, decentralization is really important, and it's not a static thing. It's something that we all achieve to attain. So let's talk about what DYDX is doing and to become more and more decentralized, and what's the near-term roadmap for that, Iran?
所以第一个问题想问
Elizabeth, 你翻译一下，谢谢。
好，我们第一个问题想问一下 Iran 啊，我们知道其实在整个行业去中心化是一个很火的话题，然而这并不是我们说就能做到的，所以想问一下 DYDX 在近期有哪些路线图和安排来更好的实现去中心化？
好的，我觉得去中心化一直其实是我们非常关注的一个点。那么在近期的话，其实我们有在2件事情在探索去中心化。第一个就是其实是在我们的技术的 tech stack 上面， 因为我们现在在2层上，我们采用的是order book 的形式，就是一个中心化的引擎去撮合你的订单。我们会想的，比如说会采取更去中心化，比如说把这个撮合的部分，可以让其他的人也来参与，比如说像 0x 那种架构，比如是 RFQ 的模式。这是一方面。另外一方面的话，我们也在积极探索一些更社区治理的一些方向。因为我们相信，像社区治理，才是 DeFi protocol 的一个未来。
So thank you very much for the question, and we do put the decentralization into the priority of our roadmap in the long term as well as in the near term. For the near term practices, we have 2 things to go through. The first is we are preparing more tech stacks, especially at the second layer. We call it a kind of our book. To be more specific,
as well, I think. So for the tech stack, we are now using a centralized order book, which we are now very happy because if we go down, no one can match your order. So we are thinking using like a RFQ model, which a third party can do the market making and also the order matching for us. So this is one part we are decentralizing on the technical stack. The other part is that we are also exploring ways to maybe like the government to govern the our protocol, which is more like a DAO, because we believe that DAO will be the future of how the decentralized finance will work.
Elizabeth?
She just translating her words into English and giving more details.
Okay, so let's move to Mernal and Kathy. Something that when 2-3 years ago in Beijing we couldn't even say decentralized that openly, 去中心化. But let's now we can, and let's talk about it. What is Casper doing to become more and more decentralized, and what's the near-term roadmap? Mernal, Kathy.
Yeah, so there's several things. So let's talk about protocol, token distribution, staking, because those are the 3 things that will affect how decentralized the system is. So at the protocol level, obviously, the Casper, the Highway Protocol, which is our variant of CBC Casper, is completely open and permissionless, which means anyone can become a validator anywhere. You don't need anyone's permission, and you just have to send a bonding request and your stake to become part of the network. So right out the gate, the protocol is built to be completely decentralized. There's no centralized authority. There's no council. There's absolutely nothing preventing anyone from being part of the network. And we think this is hugely important. The second thing is how are tokens distributed? Now, we've been really fortunate that right out the gate, we will be one of the most decentralized protocols at launch ever. And the reason for that is our coinless sale had the highest number of registrants in history and had over 35,000 participants, which means at launch, when the token goes live on May 4th, we will have the broadest distribution possible. And going forward, this will become even broader because, a significant amount of supply is with the DevDAO, which is grants to developers and people building on the network, as well as people upgrading the network. And this will further distribute tokens and ensure that people can participate. And then thirdly, staking. Staking is incredibly easy on our system. You can delegate your stake very easily to a pool, or if you want to spin up your own node, we are partnering, and an announcement will come, so I can't tell you the name, but we're partnering with one of the largest global cloud service providers, such that it's a one-button click to have your node set up and spun up, and then you delegate your tokens to it, and you're part of the Casper network right out the gate.
所以差不多在2-3年前吧，我们北京还没有办法去谈论所谓的去中心化。那么现在的话，整个市场都可以去谈了，所以就问一下我们2位是怎么来在 Casper Labs 来做这样去中心化的一个过程和安排的。那么回答如下，其实在 Casper Labs 的话，我们基本上就是从3个方面来实现并且不断的促进去中心化的一个过程。第一个领域呢就是 protocol 我们的协议，第二个领域呢就是我们的这个 token distribution 整个令牌的分散度，第三个呢就是 staking 是我们的整个委托和 我们相关的托管服务这块，在第一个层面，就刚刚所说的 protocol 协议领域，我们主要采用就是一个我们自己 Casper Highway 的一个 CBC 和一个 Open 开放式的模式。可以说，所有的用户和企业的话，它无需接受我们传统的这样的验证，就可以进行相关的一些数据的使用和相关的一些数据的挖掘采用。本质上，它只需要通过一个 bonding 的过程，就可以实现这样的方便便捷的通路。这是第一个，我们的协议是高度的去中心化的。那么第二个呢，就是我们刚刚所说的一个令牌的 distribution， 整个令牌的分散式。我们其实现在基于一个这样的无货币的世界中，我们大概有超过35000个这样的合作伙伴，他们可以去获得这些相关的一些货币，而且可以实现高度的一个分散化。我们也尽量在全球不断的去增加这些所有的数据，来实现令牌的分散更加的高速快捷。那么第三个的话，我们其实现在在做委托和托管服务的时候 ，staking 已经和世界上最大的一家云服务商一块儿来从事这个领域的一个去中心化的过程。
Okay, thank you. Hold on. Thank you, Bernal. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, right?
Loud and clear.
Okay, great. So I think what we want to do is to open up the panel to everybody, and let's start talking about wider, broader questions. I'm gonna start with Iris at the Graph. You know, a few days ago at the Bao'ao Forum, Bao'ao, for those who don't know, is China's version of Davos. The Central Bank of China actually said, and this is a milestone for crypto in China, is actually said that Bitcoin and digital assets are an important part of the economy and future finance. And that's really important. It's a good signal for our industry. I think a few years ago, we couldn't even talk about tokens in Beijing. But now we can. And so let's talk about the token and let's talk about participation. With the Graph, Iris, the token incentivizes curation, delegation, which is like staking and indexing. Can you talk about the token for GRT and also what you are trying to facilitate for participation and how the audience can participate in each of the projects? Let's start with Iris, the Graph.
那么首先我们把问题抛给
wait, 等一下 Elizabeth，
首先我们把邀请 Iris 来自 Graph 的来和我们分享一个比较宏观的问题啊。就几天前在博鳌亚洲论坛上面，其实我们就发现一些中高层领导已经公开认为，像数字资产和像我们比特币这样的令牌也好，代币也好，会成为未来中国金融市场和经济的重要组成部分。但是在几年前，其实大家都不敢这么去说，也没有人会把令牌这个话题给说出来。所以这个问题呢，就想抛给大家，由 Iris 首先起头，你们是怎么来去看我们未来的令牌代币的发展和所有这些行业参与者、利益相关方的参与的，包括我们之前说的像 GRT 这样的一个令牌也好，代币也好，也真的是咱们这边推出来发展起来的。我们可以再宏观的去说一下，像 Graph 我们也推出了相关的这种委托，还有像质押，还有像索引这些相关的一些工具。您先说。
I think it's great that over the past year, the value of digital assets are recognized by authorities and broader audience and the people. So for GRT, it's a work token model. So it is used to allocate resources in the network. So its primary function is for indexers to stake, which adds civil resistance and economic security to the network. So similar to some other POS protocols. And the GRT also enables delegators to delegate stake, which adds additional civil resistance to the network. And additionally, GRT is signaled by curators to help indexers discover what subgraphs are most efficient to index and serve queries on. Finally, all query fees and rewards are paid in GRT. So I also have some updates. Right now, over 2.7 billion GRT, which is about, I think, 27% of the total GRT has been staked and delegated by indexers and delegators equating to around, I think, 4.5 billion TBL. I think this number is a testament to the Graphs community and the participation in the network.
非常感谢的问题，确实呢，这几年的话，官方也逐渐的认可了整个数字资产和我们整个代币和令牌的一个重要性，这是一个好的发展方向。那么我也和大家分享一下 GRT 在未来的发展，近几年的发展。GRT 本身它就是一套去进行资产分布的工具和网络，用的一些程序，就像我们刚刚所说的委托、质押和索引它都有包含在这些工具里面。通过委托和质押，我们也基本上是比较类似于像一个 POS 的一个协议一样，它通过委托来将这些所有的质押的资产可以进行索引。首先就是有个这样的 curator 这样的管理员，将这些资产进行委托或者质押给一些管理方。所以 GRT 的话，在过去几年的话，它基本上已经实现了一个270亿的数值，其中有70%，也就相当于有15亿左右的一个 GRT 它进行了一个委托。
你说 Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, I can just present in Chinese for dig into details. 所以说就是GRT 主要是在网络中是有一个激励的经济模型的，因为我们是一个完全去中心化的网络，然后我们的主要角色就是有索引人、策展人和委托人。就是说我们的索引人就是我们的节点，它是来处理这个数据的索引的，然后它就是要把这个 GRT 质押在网络中，然后以确保网络的一个稳定性和一个经济的安全性。然后另外呢，就是因为我刚刚提到了，就是我们目前有超过1万个子图，就是开放的数据 API 被这个deploy 在我们的网络上面了。所以说怎么在一个去中心化的情况下来保证这个数据的 API 是一个高质量的情况来被索引的，就是我们就是有社区里面大家就是哪怕是非技术人员也可以做我们的策展人，然后来这个以通过质押这个 GRT 在这些子图上的形式来告诉那个节点哪一些数据是更高质量的、更值得去索引的。然后包括委托人，他就可以把他的币给委托给我们的节点，来一起帮助维护这个网络的稳定。然后目前呢，已经有27亿个 GRT， 就相当于我们相当于我们27%的总代币都已经被这个质押和委托在了我们的网络上，这相当于大概45亿美金的价值。我觉得这是对于这个 The Graph 整个网络还有这个社区参与度的一个肯定。谢谢。
Thanks, Iris. So actually, with DYDX does not have a token right now, and 每个人everybody's wondering 那个DYDX 什么时候发行 token， 但是the answer is that Iran, what's the answer to that? Because that's one of the biggest questions in DeFi right now.
I know. I mean, I have been asked this question like 1,000 times. I mean,
kick people out.
We understand the importance of token and the potential of token can bring to our protocol, and we have been actively researching different plans for becoming more decentralized of a protocol, but nothing is confirmed yet. I mean, but I would suggest people to use our product and stay tuned for the updates.
Yeah, watch for the usage will potentially bear a lot of fruit. So thank you, Iran. Let's move to Michael. Pocket Network. Talk about the token, what it's used for, and how people can participate. Talk to the audience about that too.
Absolutely. There's Pocket is a very simple two-sided marketplace. You have developers who stake Pocket, the native cryptocurrency, to pay for the service. Instead of paying a monthly fee to a centralized provider, you stake Pocket once to pay for your requests and the service itself. That's on one side of the marketplace. And on the other side of the marketplace, you have nodes who also stake to have the right to do work in the network. Pocket is a proof of stake network. There is no on-chain delegation yet, although there's an update later this year that will allow for delegation down the road. That delegation is, or that staking is what allows the nodes to be able to participate and provide infrastructure for the network. By doing so, the nodes mine or mint Pocket as well. And generally, you've seen a really incredible kind of a sticky growth in nodes restaking their Pocket to continue providing infrastructure for the network. Those are the two primary ways today. The third way will be through Wrapped Pocket, where anyone will be able to stake and kind of act as an application and earn some yield on that front. And if you wanted to try Pocket today, if you use MetaMask, we have some guides that allow you to actually use Pocket today. So you'll be, if you want to switch to Pocket through MetaMask, you'll be contributing to decentralized infrastructure all around the world.
所以接下来想问一下我们的 network 这边有什么样相关的一些 token 方面的使用和一些推出的计划吗？回答如下。首先的话呢，我们首先就是针对所有的这些开发者 developers， 他们不像传统需要一次性付给这些中心的服务商和基础设施一些月费，我们是不需要做这样的月费支付的。更多的话，针对这些开发商的话，我们就是按照每次来支付一个次费，这是我们第一种服务模式。第二种的话呢，我们也通过所有的这些节点来进行支付，因为我们的节点的话暂时还没有开启所谓的这样的线下委托这样的线下托管和委托的服务，所以的话我们还是鼓励他们做一些这样基础设施和线上的一些委托。所有这些 node 的话，一开始我们还有一种服务呢，第三种叫做 Rapid Pocket 的服务，这些也是针对未来的一些更多的一些应用，针对所有使用我们这些基础架构的开发者的话，他们也可以通过我们的基础架构来产生一些相关的收益，这也是第三种。那么第四种的话呢，我们就是鼓励他们使用 MetaMask 来用我们的这个 Pocket 的网络。
Thank you, Michael. Okay, let's move to Casper Labs, and Mrinal and Kathy, let's talk about what the Casper token incentivizes and how people can participate.
Yeah, the Casper token really does three things. So the first and most important is that's the token with which you pay for your transactions. So you pay for the underlying transactions and computational power with the CSPR token, just like you do on ETH, on Ethereum. It works exactly the same way. The second part is it's also the native staking token, meaning all the network security comes from staking CSPR on the network. Very similar to what Michael described in Pocket. So validators acquire CSPR, they bond them to the network, and your network security is directly proportional to the amount of CSPR staked on the network. And we expect, as a percentage, this will be very, very high relative to the total size of the network. Most tokens will be staked and continue to be staked. And third, again, similar to Pocket, you can wrap. There's all sorts of wrappers that you can put around the CSPR token to enable cross-chain functionality. But in addition to that, you can create tokens on top of CSPR, just like you have ERC20s on top of Ethereum. And this has unlimited potential. You could have your own entire ecosystem on top of the Casper network. You could also create all sorts of NFTs and other unique tokens as well. So those are the three primary uses of the CSPR token.
所以我们 Casper 的话主要有3种 token 的类型供大家使用和采用。第一种呢就是比较简单，它直接是平时在交易的时候使用来进行 token 的支付和使用即可，它类似于我们传统的 CSPR 的这种 token 的一个风格。那么第二种的话就是我们通过安全委托的方式来形成这种 native 的 token 的使用，通过它我们传统也要使用验证和服务来进行 token 的使用。那么第三种的话呢，就是跟我们刚刚所说的 CSPR 的话也非常的相似，它更多的还倾向我们之前所说的 ERC 的这样的 token 来做这样的服务。那么第四种的话就是刚刚我们所说的 NFT 这种不可替代性的令牌来进行 token 的服务和使用。
我想补充一下 I will just add on what Marino just stated. So actually we can compare Casper token with Ethereum. The only difference is that we are cheaper. We can predict the gas fees and we are faster. So whatever you can do on Ethereum, you can do on Casper. 所以就是说大家可以把 Casper 对比成目前的以太坊，那我们的不同之处就是说我们以太坊上你可以建立的生态，你可以作为你可以用来做payment， 你可以做 staking， 你也可以去做 NFT DeFi， 那在 Casper 上也都是可以做的。那不同之处就是说 Casper 会更加的快捷，我们解决了以太坊的扩容问题，然后也会更加的便宜。那 gas 费用上面呢也是可以预期的，不会像以太坊目前一样，我们的 gas 费用是没有办法预期。那这就是我们不同的地方。Thank you.
谢谢 Kathy. Thank you very much. That's great. So that's important for everybody to participate in all these tokens and platforms. Let's move to the next question. Let's talk about Web3. And I'd like to get your thoughts briefly, on the development of Web3, what you see, what are you predicting for 2021, 2022 in the near term and out to 2024? And what is your project doing to contribute to the development of Web3? Let's start with Michael of Pocket Network.
Yeah, absolutely. So
hold on just a second. Maybe Elizabeth can interpret the question.
所以呢，我们刚刚所说的就是像代币令牌和所有的参与的问题。那么接下来我们问第二个问题，就是关于我们 Web3 的一个发展。请问一下各位，对 Web3 的话，在2021年，或者是从中长期看到2022、2024，您这边有什么样的一些预期和相关可以和我们分享一些内容？那么 Michael， 您第一个来。
Great. Yeah, so Pocket's an interesting position because we are a middleware protocol that helps enhance existing applications and other layer 1 protocols. So for example, we've seen throughout the history of Bitcoin and Ethereum, the number of full node counts went up, and then over the last 5 to 7 years, they began going down as these protocols became larger and more difficult to run. And Pocket, as a neutral middleware protocol, helps provide a big incentive for people to run full nodes all around the world and further decentralize these networks. Generally, it's the founding teams, it's the foundations that are running this infrastructure, and Pocket allows removes that burden from these founding teams to allow them to focus really on what they're building as opposed to the infrastructure around it, and really enhancing the censorship resistance of these applications and protocols all around the world.
所以呢，首先我们要跟大家解释是 Pocket 本身就是一个中层的服务基础设施架构，我们更多的是做一些针对首层和一层一些基础架构的一些支持和服务。像之前很多年前，随着比特币还有像所有这些节点的扩增，大概是在5-6年前的时候，我们就发现一些传统的协议它已经出现了一些运行的困难，有太多的节点了。但是随着未来更多节点的出来和去中心化趋势的不断增强，其实我们更多 Pocket 要做的就是对一些底层的基础设施架构，帮助他们解决一些难点，或者是帮他们进行一些这样的解决一些负担，来减负的一个工作。所以未来的话，我们更多的还是关注在后基础设施的一些服务，帮他们做一些支持工作。
Okay, so I'm going to ask Iris next, because, in terms of data and queries and so forth, there's similarities between the projects with Pocket. So Iris, what are your thoughts? What are your predictions for Web3 development in the short term, long term, and also what the graph is doing to promote that, to support that?
Okay, so I think it just do you need to translate the question?
No, it's okay. Same question. Go ahead.
So yeah, I think we're just in the beginning of the vibrant Web3 future. So I think we are gonna to see like endless need from the market. a lot of centralized applications will be replaced by dApps. And right now, all their layer 1, layer 2, and protocols are still maturing. And there will be different chains fulfill different market need. And so for the graph, we're looking forward to moving all of the Web3 ecosystem onto the graph and expanding to many other blockchains so that all applications, layer 2s and layer 1s are integrated with the graph. We're also looking forward to moving all the Web2 into Web3 via the graph.
您要自己说一下吗？
对，
还是
可以
自己说一下
好了。对，就是我觉得我们现在就是在一个 Web3 的开端，就是很多的各种赛道的一些protocol， 然后底层的基础设施，还有包括现在很火的 Layer 2， 也都在一个成熟的阶段。然后将来我觉得我们将会有无穷的这个需求，就是说很多的中心化的应用程序和软件将会被去中心化的应用所取代，然后会有很多不同的区块链来满足不同应用场景的需求。然后所以说作为The Graph 的话，我们就想要说帮助就是把整个这个 Web3 的这个生态系统都和这个 Graph 集成来这个帮助这些开发者来开发去中心化的应用。包括就是说所有的 Layer 2 Layer 1还有一些别的应用，我们都希望通过这个 The Graph 这样的开发者工具来帮助他们解决这个区块链数据方面的问题，还有来节约就是降低他们的这个在区块链上开发的门槛特别是帮助很多的现在传统的 Web2 的开发者进入到 Web3 的这个世界里面来。
谢谢 Iris。Okay, so 依然一样的问题 Web3 你觉得呢？你说中文。
好的，我们当然非常看好 Web3， 因为我们觉得不管是协议、产品，还是整体的这个技术架构都会变得越来越去中心化和开放。这也是为什么大家更喜欢在以太坊上做这个产品。因为你可以是有无许可的可以去使用的。那对于 DYDX 来说，就像我刚刚说过的，我们一个是首先去更多的 decentralize 我们的技术架构、我们的社区，然后同时我觉得我们本身做好一个去中心化交易所这件事情，就是在对 Web3 做一个非常大一个贡献。
谢谢依然。Great. Okay. Same question to Casper, Mernal, and Kathy.
Yeah, I'll let Kathy cover, very specific things that are happening in China and how we see it evolving there. But I'll make some generic comments first. So there are two audiences, primary audiences in the Web3 world. One is crypto natives and startups. And so there, what we're seeing is already, demand is accelerating. And what we're doing as a protocol is we've partnered with the DevDAO. We're one of and their initial sponsor, although we'll see more as time goes on. So these developers and startups have a place to go get a grant, go get technical assistance, and in a decentralized manner can build out applications. But then there's a second audience, which is enterprises. With enterprises, they need someone like a Red Hat, similar to how Linux was adopted because there was a Red Hat and people had a phone number they could call and get professional services and support. We offer that at Casper Labs. And what we've seen is enterprises have started dipping their toe in the water and actually using a public chain for the first time because we enable this kind of level of professional services and support. Enterprises need enterprise-grade professional services support and platforms in order to use this technology. Now, over 2021, I'll say most of the things we're going to see are going to be smaller use cases and limited parts of the infrastructure being built on public chains. But as we go into 2022, into 2024, I actually believe this trend will largely accelerate. And we really want to be the driver behind this enterprise-grade adoption of blockchain.
首先呢，我来跟大家讲一些比较宏观的理解。待会儿 Cassie 的话会跟大家分享一些具体的中国的做法和一些中国现在市场发生的变化。第一点呢，首先我们要认清楚 Web3 它的一些主要的用户是谁。我把这些用户分为两类。第一类用户呢，就是我们这些创新企业和一些传统的这些 加密货币的操作者和使用者。比方说，我们现在在 Casper Labs 已经和 DevDAO 进行了合作，我们就是起一个这样的初始的加速作用。我们还知道更多层面上，我们更多是提供一个这样的技术支持和服务，针对是这些 startup 的一些企业。那么第二呢，其实未来更多的我们要面向的是一些大企业、一些 enterprise， 我们要提供的就是类似于一个和 Red Hat 的服务一样，给他们一个这样的热线电话，他们打电话进来就可以寻求一些专业的服务。毕竟 Casper Lab 是第一个在公链上面做操作的一个企业。我们更多的在2021年的话，我会相信看到更多的一些小用户案例和一些有限的基础架构、有限的基础设施架构，它会放在公链上进行一个这样的初始的发酵。到了2022年之后，我相信这样的趋势呢会不断的加速，而 Casper Labs 更多的像是一个背后的推手和一个加速器。
对的，刚刚 Marino 提到了这个，那我就稍微补充一点点。其实 Web3 跟给我们大家带来Web3 跟 Web2 一样，其实都是不断的技术的创新，也是一个思想的创新。那对我们来说，最直观的就是说以很多的数字化，可能未来经济的很大一部分都是数字经济。那以虚拟货币或者是虚拟资产也是其中一个非常大的一块。那就讲到我们 Casper 提供的是一个 Layer 1的一个这个服务和一个解决方案。那在此基础上Layer 2、Layer 3的一个发展。那我们提供的就是3个方向，一个是我们本身是一个开源的这个基础服务。那在此之上，我们也会和很多的企业公司进行合作，做一些办私有的一些链的开发。那在此基础上，我们也可能会和一些政府的部门做一些比较私有的链的开发。我们会提供作为 Casper Labs， 我们会提供一定的服务。那我们目前也有的案例，就是刚刚之前我们有分析过的，不仅是比如说在知识产权管理上我们的一些合作，在供应链上面一些实际应用，包括资产的通证化等等等等，这都是一些已有的案例。那目前我可以给大家稍微更新一下我们在中国市场上的一些发展。我们目前也有很多的Dev Developer 跟我们有商讨如何把他们目前在以太坊上的一个开发转移嫁接到我们 Casper 上来。所以这个很快大家也会在中国市场上看到更多的开发者把他们已有的应用场景转移在 Casper 上。
谢谢 Kathy. Thank you, Kathy. Okay, before you go, everybody, one last question. What's your favorite Chinese food? 你最喜欢吃的中国菜是什么 ？Kathy， 我知道是一个江苏特色，对吧？ Tell us what's your favorite Chinese food?
I'm from Nanjing, so my favorite food is 盐水鸭 salted water duck 盐水鸭。
Nice. Iran, something from Hangzhou. What's your favorite Chinese food?
我现在阶段这个最喜欢吃的食物其实是小馄饨 ，small dumpling。
Great. And I'm going to go to Bernal and Michael. I don't want to hear anybody say fortune cookie. What's your favorite, Michael, what's your favorite Chinese food?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of soups. So give me a good hot and sour soup and I am the happiest person in the world.
Okay, you're still eating in Florida, okay? You have to come to China to eat some real Chinese food. Hot and sour soup is Mama Hu. It's not that great. Bernal, you've been to China many times.
Yeah, my favorites are I love dim sum. So all dim sum, especially soup dumplings, I love. And second thing I love is I love Sichuan food. Spicier the better. Spicy Sichuan food, especially the braised fish. Absolutely love it.
Great choice. Iris, your turn.
I'm really a foodie, but does boba tea count? Actually, I recently read that the US market is having a boba shortage, which is unbelievable and broke so many people's hearts.
That's right. Great. So for me, I love Shuiju Niu Rou. So Bernal, we love Sichuan Szechuan food. 当然我是老北京，所以我很喜欢吃大东的烤鸭。I love it. but sometimes I eat too much. So I want to thank everybody for being here today. I really enjoyed this. This is 就是未来的视角show. The future decacorns of blockchain. I really enjoyed having this discussion. Thank you, Renal. Thank you, Kathy, Iran, Iris, Michael. And I want to also say, like, I'm really happy that the leaders in China blockchain are more and more women, Bao Kuo Meta in CTO of Casper. But Kathy, thank you very much. Iran, thank you very much. Iris, thank you very much. 这三个现代的女性非常厉害。谢谢大家。Elizabeth, you want to end the conference, the event?
好的，最后我们还是想感谢今天的3个女性，大家非常的厉害，非常的优秀，所以我在这边呢，最后跟大家再总结说一声道谢了。
谢谢 ，Thank you everybody， 谢谢大家。
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.